Welcome! So today, we are diving deep into the invisible architecture of your mind. We're going to uncover how three things you do all day, every day, speaking, seeing, and acting, aren't actually separate things at all. Nope. They are part of this deeply connected system that, and this is the wild part, literally builds your reality from the ground up. Let's get right into it.
You know, it all really starts with this one amazing mystery. Think about it. A baby hears what is basically just a constant stream of noise. Yet somehow, in a few short years, they're not just understanding sentences, they're making up their own. How in the world does the brain pull that off?
And that question, well, it leads us straight to our first big idea, the great language debate. This is the classic nature versus nurture showdown, but it's all about one of the most human things we do. Are we born with a special blueprint for language, or do we have to learn it all from scratch?
For a long time, there were pretty much two main camps. First, you had the nativists, led by the famous Noam Chomsky. They believed language is native to us, that we're born with this language acquisition device already hardwired into our brains. I mean, it makes sense, right? Kids pick up grammar without anyone really teaching them the rules. But then, on the other side, you had the empiricists. They argued it's all about experience. They saw the brain as this incredible learning machine that just figures out all the patterns by listening to the world.
So, which one is it? Is it nature or is it nurture? Well, as it turns out, it's not really an either-or kind of thing. The modern answer is somewhere in the middle, and it's called the competition model. The basic idea is that language comes from this dynamic dance between the two.
The best way to get your head around this is the old hardware-software analogy. A baby's brain is like a brand new, super powerful computer. The hardware is amazing. But you know, without software, that hardware can't really do anything. The language a child hears all around them, that's the software. That's what gets downloaded. You absolutely have to have both for the system to work.
And what's really cool is we see a version of this today with AI. Think about it. A language model like ChatGPT is basically the ultimate empiricist. It gets fed just a mind-boggling amount of text, and it just learns the patterns. There's no innate biological blueprint there. It's a pretty stunning example of just how powerful that statistical learning part of the equation can be. Okay, so let's move on to our second pillar. We're going to shift from language to sight. Now, it feels like we just open our eyes and boom, we see the world exactly as it is. Simple, right? But the truth is, your brain is actively constructing what you see piece by piece from moment to moment.
So how does it do that? Well, when light hits your eyes, your brain brilliantly splits the job in two. You've got one stream, the ventral pathway, which is the what system. It's the part that looks at something round and red and goes, aha, that's an apple. At the exact same time, another stream, the dorsal pathway, the where system, is figuring out where that apple is in space so you can guide your hand to grab it.
But here's the really important part. Your brain isn't just flipping through a photo album in your head trying to find a perfect match. It's more like a detective, actively piecing clues together. It has these built-in rules, like assuming things that are near each other, or look similar, or form a nice smooth line. They probably belong to the same object.
You see this in action every time you use an AR filter. You know, when you put those digital sunglasses on your face on Instagram. Your brain is doing something incredibly complex called figure ground segregation. It instantly knows the glasses are the figure and your face is the ground. And it seamlessly blends this fake object into your real world. It happens so fast, so effortlessly, we don't even think about it.
Okay, this brings us to our third and final pillar, and this is where everything really comes together. We've talked about language, we've talked about perception, but the most mind-blowing idea is how they're all woven together with our actual physical bodies. This is a theory called embodied cognition, and it basically argues that our thoughts aren't just these abstract ideas floating around in our heads. They are fundamentally shaped, they're grounded in the simple fact that we have bodies that move around and touch and interact with stuff. This quote really says it all. The concept of the word swing isn't just a definition you read in a dictionary. For your brain to truly understand that word, it partially fires up the same parts of your brain you'd use to actually swing something. Your physical experience is what gives the word its real meaning. Now, let's take that one step further. That connection between our minds and our bodies is then shaped, again, by the language we speak. This is the idea of linguistic relativity. And let's be clear, it doesn't mean your language traps you or determines what you can think. It's more subtle. It suggests that your language can kind of nudge you or influence how you pay attention to the world and organize it.
You see this playing out in the real world all the time. Tech companies are obsessed with A/B testing the words on their buttons. Why? Because they know that choosing Join Now versus Sign Up is a big deal. Join Now might feel more inclusive or urgent. Sign Up might feel more like a boring commitment. That tiny linguistic frame actually changes how people perceive the action, and it directly influences whether or not they click.
So, after pulling together language, perception, and our physical bodies, what's the bottom line? Let's quickly run through the 4 biggest takeaways from all of this.
First, language is a team effort between your biology and your environment. You need the hardware and the software. Second, you don't just see reality. Your brain actively builds it for you. Third, the concepts in your mind aren't abstract. They're grounded in the real physical experience of having a body. And finally, number 4, the language you speak acts like a lens, subtly shaping what you notice and how you make sense of everything.
And all of that leaves us with one last big thought to chew on. If our minds really are this incredible integrated system, where our language, what we see, and what we do are all tangled up together, and if the words we use help build the very framework of our reality, well, it's worth asking yourself, what reality are you building with your words?